It is show time at the Apollo. How's it going, people? Uh, Today is a solid day. I mean, for me, man, the snow down here in the DFW area got people tripping. uh, Before we get to everything, like everybody was out the first 3 days and trying to get as much stuff as they could get, thinking this was about to be the worst winter storm ever. I don't know who gave that message. Like whoever gave that message did a really good job because people was out here buying stuff like crazy. I went to go try to get a propane tank, and they were gone at several different places. You know, I don't understand what it's the panic in people. Why would you wait to try to get so many things done? Uh, but I guess that's the people in this world. Everybody's waiting to the time that they need something in order to get something done, right? Um, little things that like for today, for me, I just rested. I got up early. Excuse me, because my 3-year-old wants to be up, right? So I get up for a little bit. What? What? Miss Lee in the building. What? Haven't heard from you in a minute. I'm good today. Every day is different. How are you doing? Um, you know, I haven't rested like that in a while. I haven't rested like that in a while, and it was very good for me. I'm refreshed. Um, my kids, they took care of their business. There's some incredible people. You know, I told them before, like I'm really um, proud to be their dad. You know, because through everything that they're going through, they have this perseverant mindset. You know, uh, I appreciate that, man. Hey, listen, I got the merchandise coming out. Uh, I have it available, but I'm trying to get my website together so everything can be cohesive. Salute to you, Andrew. Thanks for the support always. Um, and so, yes, they do a wonderful job in doing what they got to do to get things done. And I'm still trying to make sure that I parent them well and that I'm not this dad that um, is kind of like trying to fly by the seat of his pants or individual that doesn't care about his kids because he's just in mourning and grieving all the time. I'm appreciative that uh, the help that I have. Shout out to all the people that help. I mean, it's a lot of people, so it's hard for me to just name everybody. You know, and so I won't use that on this video. I know y'all came to see what I had to say on a couple different things about the Nicki Minaj, what she should have taught you. But I wanted to kind of get some updates. I'm working on the Janeered homeschool scholarship to see to help the homeschool parents that are out there. That'll be coming shortly. Shortly, like before the end of this year. Hopefully, this in the next couple of months. Right. I also have the Humble Dad workshop that I'm working on. That's going to be June 17th, 18th. That'll be coming in the Euless area, DFW, mid cities. Shout out to Cross City Church, my home church. What else is there? Kind of like some housekeeping type things before we get into it. And I've been on, I would say, in between sevens, eights. As far as emotional, um, there have been some nines. There are also, I think a 10 is coming. Probably April 23rd. Oh yeah, April 23rd. I'll be in Houston with the Lapeef Network. We'll be talking about whatever the topics JR come up with. You know, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in person to see how our personalities blend or mesh, or even how they may contradict. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be an incredible day. Then I got the uh, dissertation that I'm writing. Well, I've already completed it. Looking forward to the graduation, because it's gonna happen, right? There's no way to turn back now. So that's gonna be happening. Um, it's gonna be an incredible moment, bittersweet. All these moments until I can get my mind around how this moving forward looks. How this moving forward looks will be bittersweet. But back to the topic at hand, right? Why some of you all may have tuned in. I was listening to Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels this morning, and I was listening to them converse with one another about some interesting topics. Some of those topics were, um, some of those topics were about sex. Some of those topics were about women specifically. Well, it was like a conversation, really. It wasn't necessarily a topic. They were just having a dialogue. She brought him up, I believe, on her IG to ask him some questions and to talk to him about his viewpoints on things. The fallout from the hooping with the yeah, we will be hooping. That's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. I definitely have challenged everybody to see their skills. I like talking noise. It just comes with who I am, and for the most part, I can back it up. And so I'm looking at this. I'm listening to this dialogue between a very famous person, as far as international superstar, if you will, in Nicki Minaj, and I'm listening to Kevin Samuels, who is, a celebrity to a degree, definitely in the what they call the manosphere, the black manosphere, is as well. And oftentimes, when Kevin Samuels is talking, uh, let me go back. So some people don't even like his delivery, so they're not willing to listen to what it is that he has to say, right? Which is understandable to a degree, right? But if you would listen to the words that someone is saying and not already be prepared to disagree, or be prepared to attack, or be prepared to just to respond, then you'll see if there's value in the words that are being said. And so, uh, the times that I've talked to women, and I've said the name Kevin Samuels, it seems to have reached down into their soul and taken something from them for whatever reason, right? And the main thing that they've always said was his delivery is just really bad. Okay, well, there are lots of media out there that have really bad delivery, but it's still listened to, and even oftentimes taking their advice, right? And so, as I'm listening to this conversation, and I am prepared to hear what I normally hear, which is a combative woman that doesn't like what um, Kevin Samuels would say. I think the first question that came off was, Nicki asked him, like, "What would you rate me?" And he was like, "Well, that's not what I do. I typically have the woman rate themselves." Right. And that is what's interesting, that women have gotten upset about Kevin asking them how they would rate themselves, because the value that you see in yourself tells a lot about how your thinking is. Hello, what it do, Aunt Suze? And so he asked the question, back to her, and she began to talk. She said that she felt like she was a 7, and he said, "Well, that's a default. That's a default number." Uh, and then he asked her what was her size. She said her size was. She said she made it seem like she didn't really know what her size was. And she said 4, I think, but who's to say? And so he began to ask. What I didn't like that he did, which is not what this is about, but I didn't like that he didn't let her answer to give her own number. He decided to give his number, which he doesn't do. Right? He doesn't give his number. He may disagree with that person about their number, right? But he doesn't ever give the number. And I thought that was fairly interesting why he would give her the number that he gave. And I'll let you watch it and see what he said. But throughout the course of the conversation, when she would ask Kevin Samuels a question, she would listen. She would listen to what he said. She never overtalked him. At any point, she would let him get all of his words out, and then she would listen to see when would be the tail end of his conversation coming to a close. And then she would respond, or she would then say, "Okay, well, let me ask you this." Kevin did the exact same thing, right? I don't know if he was prepared or not for that, because oftentimes, oftentimes women, maybe even men, I mean, we cut each other off at times for sure. I know I definitely was that was a big deal for me when in my marriage, when I was like, I would be cutting off my wife, but then I would be upset when she did it to me, right? And so I get it that it goes both ways, but I'm referring to, and I'm talking to you about from what I've experienced. Typically, when two men are talking, you don't see that, but it seems to be when a man and a woman is talking, there is a uh, there becomes an issue. But in this particular conversation, not one time did Nicki Minaj cut off Kevin Samuels, and I thought that was pretty dope because it was her IG. Uh, it was also her asking some questions. I don't know if he necessarily disagreed with her. Maybe that would have been the reason where she would have got into him or something like that. But from what she said that wasn't even her goal in bringing him up. Her goal was just to have a conversation with him, which should always be the goal, is to have a conversation with someone and to see what their perspective is. And if y'all disagree in perspective, then that is what it is. And if somebody's able to come to a different conclusion based on what you said, then you've won them over, which is fine, right? Which is good. And so I if nobody has watched it, if you haven't watched it, a lot of people have watched it, but if you haven't watched it, please go see how the woman responded to Kevin Samuels. She let him talk, allowed him to talk, get his thoughts out. Sometimes he got long-winded, but she did not cut him off at any particular point in time. And what I thought, this is what I said. I said, I wonder why she did that. I wonder why she did that. She's a high-profile celebrity. She has the leverage. Why would she be that way? What do you think the question that I had? My question was, what's her father in her life? That's what I wondered. I wondered, did Nicki Minaj have her father in her life? Because the way that she showed respect to Kevin Samuels made it seem as if she did. So what did I do? I went to go look it up. She was her father, her dad was in her life from what I've read. And if I'm wrong, you can let me know. But he passed away in a car wreck a couple of years ago. She said something like, I can say it has been the most devastating loss of my life. and this was some time ago. Though I can't really bring myself to discuss the passing of my father as of yet, I can say it has been the most devastating loss of my life. End quote. I find myself wanting to call him all the time, more so now that he's gone. Life is funny that way. So he was so much involved in in her life. Yeah, she was looking for answers to certain questions, but she didn't cut him off though. But she showed him an incredible amount of respect. Maybe it was planned. I don't know. But Nicki Minaj is very big personality. And when she was talking to Lala, when I saw that, like it wasn't the same energy. Uh, this conversation was a conversation of to a degree respect. Like he seems like a father figure to me. That's what it sounded like when I was listening to it. And that's not even what I went into it to get. I just wanted to see the conversation and hear the conversation. And so as a result, I gain a major respect for Nicki Minaj, even though I don't listen to her music, but her interaction, I could see that she had respect uh, for Kevin Samuels, even though she may have disagreed with some other points that he may have had prior to the conversation. And I think that's a very good learning point for men and women, uh, but more importantly, um, for women, because I don't really see men going at women in that way. Uh, Even on shows, I don't see that. I typically see that women are pretty much almost at a defense or at attack mode if a guy says something that they don't like. And I've been in those spaces where that's happened to me personally. So, but that's the lesson that I wanted you all to take away from when you watch it, is that how is it that they both show respect to one another, and also why it's important for the father to be in the household or be a part of the kid's life. Because as the kid gets older, they understand what it looks like to respect a man or even respect a woman, but oftentimes it is the man that is not in the household. And so I thought that was fascinating that a big time celebrity would give respect to somebody that's not even close to being on her level, and it was a man, right? So that's all I got. Tell me what you think about, when you watch the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know what it is. Website will be coming out soon. You have the Humble Dad workshop that will be out in June. You dig? All right. What you say, Andrew? Let's see. For some reason these days we are unable to have a stance, but have the freedom of though to understand and be open to another's opinion. That was a great show of maturity from what I saw. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. Absolutely. Salute to you, Mr. Andrew Ward. I appreciate you. And everybody that's tuned in or will tune in. And then until next time, we out here. Deuces.